You know, when most people hear the word Freemasonry, what comes to mind? Probably secret handshakes, right? Rituals happening behind closed doors. But what if we've been looking in the wrong place? What if the real secret isn't some password or weird ceremony? What if it's actually a deep philosophical system, a disciplined journey for the mind? That's what we're going to get into. We're going to explore this tradition not as some shadowy secret society, but as a genuine school of thought.
And this quote, wow, it's from way back in the 12th century, but it just cuts right to the heart of what we're talking about. It's basically a challenge. It's saying, hey, you fool, you think we're just going to lay it all out for you? It's telling us right from the start to look beyond the surface, to understand that these words, these ideas, they're not meant to be taken literally. This really sets the stage for what this is all about, a search for deeper meaning, not just, secrets.
All right, so to really get a grip on this, we've got to peel back that popular mystique. We need to look right past all the conspiracy theories and dive into the actual foundational principles it's all built on. Because that's where the real journey begins, when you decide to look beyond the mystery. And, well, here it is. The big reveal. The central idea? It's not some hidden object or a forgotten password. The real secret is the process itself. It's a disciplined, lifelong commitment to improving yourself, to cultivating your mind and your character, all in the pursuit of what's good and what's true.
And that brings us right to the absolute core of this entire system. This is the starting point for everything else that follows, a deep, profound dedication to truth.
Okay, so what's so interesting here is how they define truth. It's not just about, facts and figures or being accurate. In this way of thinking, truth is seen as a divine quality. It's the very bedrock that all other virtues, like honesty, integrity, justice, are built on. The philosophy is basically teaching that you can't be a good person if you're not first a true person. The two are completely inseparable.
And look, this isn't just some vague, abstract idea. There's actually a method. An 18th century scholar named Kundman laid out a really clear, almost scientific approach. Step 1, make truth your only goal. Simple enough. Step 2, and this one is huge, use your reason. Don't just believe something because someone told you to. You need adequate reasons. You need evidence. And step 3 is fascinating. Knowledge isn't supposed to be kept to yourself. Once you're satisfied that you've found the truth, you actually have a duty to share it with others.
Okay, so that's the what and the why. But how do you actually do it? How do you walk this path? Well, the tradition gives you a kind of toolkit for understanding the world, and it's based on two big, interconnected things, rational science and a really rich language of symbolism.
And right at the heart of the sciences, you find geometry. You have to remember, this was a time when people were just captivated by reason and order. So geometry was seen as the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. It represents logic, the ability to measure things, to make sense of the world around you. And in this philosophy, those skills aren't just for building cathedrals, they're for building a well-ordered mind. And this metaphor, it's just perfect. It illustrates the idea so well. Think about it. The uncultured mind is like a rough, jagged piece of marble just pulled from the quarry. It's got all this potential, right? But it's unrefined. Education, science, reason, those are the chisel and hammer. They're the tools you use to chip away at the rough edges, to get rid of the ignorance and reveal the beautiful latent virtues hidden inside.
All right, so let's shift from the science to the symbols. This is a great example of how this philosophy builds meaning. This is called the Lesser Tetractys. Now, it looks like a simple triangle made of 10 dots, right? But it's actually meant to be a profound map of creation. Each level represents a core divine principle. You start at the top with divine wisdom, which then manifests as the word, which is then put into action through divine might, and the whole thing is governed by divine sovereignty. It's a whole theology in one simple shape.
And it's the same idea here. Just look at the perfect, elegant symmetry of this shape. For someone on this path, a seeker, these kinds of perfect, geometric forms weren't just pretty designs. Oh no, they were visual maps of the universe's hidden harmony. And the goal was to shape your own mind to mirror that exact same order, that same balance, that same rational structure.
This symbol here does a beautiful job of visualizing that inward journey we've been talking about. See the layers? Those concentric shapes represent moving from the messy, complex outer world, deeper and deeper towards a simple, unified center. And right there, at the very heart of it all, you see the Tetragrammaton, the sacred name of God. It's representing the ultimate source of all the order and harmony we see in the universe.
Okay, so we've got a rigorous method for finding truth,
We've got this whole symbolic language to help us understand it, but this brings up a really crucial question. Why? What's the point of all this? All this study, all this discipline, all this work on yourself, is knowledge just for its own sake the final goal? Or is there something more?
And that question, well, that brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of this whole thing. Because in this tradition, that lifelong pursuit of knowledge and virtue, it's not the final destination, it's a path leading to something much, much greater.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? The whole point of studying the world, what it calls the creature, is to better understand and appreciate the one who made it. So studying physics or geometry or just nature itself becomes a form of worship. It's like climbing a ladder of understanding, moving from the physical world you can touch to the intangible source of it all, the creator.
What this philosophy does is give humanity a really distinct purpose. It suggests that the human soul, with our unique ability to reason, is actually designed for something, to contemplate the grand design of the universe. And listen to the terms they use: almighty architect, great creator. This language frames the entire cosmos as this magnificent, intricate structure just waiting to be explored and understood.
And this is so cool. It shows how all these different fields of knowledge were seen as different paths leading to the same destination. It didn't matter if you were studying arithmetic, geometry, philosophy, or astronomy. The idea was that every single discipline, if you follow it back far enough, leads you to a single origin point, a first cause, a prime mover, one single unified source where all the complexity of the universe comes from.
So we're going to end with this powerful thought from the writer Lavater. This is the ultimate goal of the entire seeker's journey. After all that work, the science, the symbolism, the self-reflection, the final aim is to see the world clearly. To not see it through the distorted lens of our own prejudices or ignorance, but through what he calls one grand immutable medium, one that reflects reality just as it is, in its true shape and color. And that really leaves us with a profound question to chew on, doesn't it? What would it take for any of us to see the world that way,